Welcome to another episode of the Presidential Executive Podcast. It's your boy JB, my homie and brother over here, Rag over here, with the look at the hat, y'all. Look at the brim. Look at the shirt he got on with the Super Mario Kart. You know what I'm saying? I had to give him props.
It's not a game.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's not
Even
a game.
Even though it's, got the controller, but it's not a game. That.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Again, y'all, like, subscribe, share, comment, everything. Go to jbtv. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go to the Presidential Executive Podcast on Facebook. Make sure you go to Presidential Exec 3 on Twitter. And make sure you look up Presidential Executive on Instagram as well.
Yep. And so the page on YouTube is jbtv, but so just so you don't have no issues, just type in Presidential Executive Podcast in the search bar. Subscribe to jbtv because that's where the videos post from. We appreciate all the recent subscribers. We noticed that, like we was just talking about the views going up on video. Like it's videos we done had out 5 months. Like, dang, that done jumped up. Yeah. So for those people who sharing, friend of a friend, we gonna do better. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm finna go back and just start posting all the old, season 1 episodes.
We got to figure out
because season 1 is coming to an end. So like we got to think of a number. You know what I'm saying? But we about to go into syndication.
Yeah, we do.
What is it, like 64 episodes? You go into syndication.
Yeah. So we got to figure out when is the cutoff for season 1.
So what I figure is that like if we get to at least season 2, the same amount of episodes, then we'll be in syndication. Mm-hmm. So you know what I'm saying? So we stick to that number, do the same number for season 2.
Right.
And so it don't be set, off a time limit per se. You know what I'm saying? But just more so. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the number of episodes. So then when we go to the next go around, it'll be like season 2, episode 1, season 2, episode 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll do it like that.
We with it. And y'all, so yeah, continue to do that.
Low, Doc?
Huh?
Your cup getting low.
It is, man. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and
tighten you up.
Yeah, tighten me up a little bit.
Tighten you up over there.
But while you do that, Rag, I don't know if you remember on this last episode, we were talking about Pepe Le Pew. You accused me of pandering.
Yeah, I felt like you was trying to, pander to, certain audiences and to get favor. And so people wouldn't look at you a certain type of way. Maybe so you wouldn't lose some fans or have people in your inbox, you know what I'm saying, on your back or whatever.
Well, I ain't to that level yet, but I thought about that, right? And so I want to give a shout out to the iAmAthlete podcast.
One of the best podcasts out there.
Tremendous podcast. So let me set this up. Tremendous podcast. Brandon Marshall, Fred Taylor, Channing Crowder, Ocho Cinco. And I think he's probably like a replacement when Ocho Cinco can't make it, Ryan Clark.
Well, yeah, the 4 that you just named is the cast. So it's Brandon Marshall, Chad Johnson, a.k.a. Ocho Cinco, Channing Crowder, and Fred Taylor. And occasionally, like when they had Cam on there, they had all 4 of them on there. But then sometimes, like if Channing is out, they may bring somebody else in. Or like if Ocho's out, they brought Ryan Clark in. Yeah. So I guess it's based off availability or whatever of people to come in because, Ocho does a lot of stuff. Channing does a lot of stuff. And I remember one episode Fred was out and they had somebody else sitting in.
Okay.
But the 4 is Brandon, Fred, Chad, and Channing.
Yeah.
And then, occasionally they'll, unless they're interviewing somebody, they'll have a replacement sometimes. But
right. Like I said, that's a tremendous podcast. And so I thought about that pandering thing he accused me of.
I did accuse him.
He did. And I was, when I was looking at this, the latest episode, I believe it was the GOAT of Parenting. And the special guest was Dwyane Wade. And actually, you see, we don't have a logo up there with the presidential executive because we're actually going to use the TV to show a little snippet of that particular podcast this past week, so I can just maybe show you, Rag, kind of what this is.
When we posted that, you put a thing at the bottom that said we do not own the rights. You know what I'm saying, to the video, so we don't get pulled down and like that because it hadn't happened yet, or just I'm just saying, we finna be international in a minute, so we got to start protecting the brand,
right?
But we do not own the PE rights. Brand.
Yes, we do not own the rights to this video, but I just wanted to show you kind of what pandering, what I think that looks like. And so given this starts with D Wade talking about, I guess, his views on parenting and how he sees himself and his perspective on it. So just let's check it out.
And I'm not the perfect parent. You can ask them. I'm sure I'll fall short. For sure. Yeah, I'll fall short. But here's the thing: is my village is strong, right? When I talk about Chef when I ain't around, who the father of the house? Chef. When I ain't around, we got a whole village. You know what I mean? We got family. We got my sister-in-law is involved. We got a whole thing. And my thing is this: first of all, I don't do this alone. I get credit for it because I'm the one that they got my last name, but it's a whole village that's around me that helps raise my kids because of my job and my responsibilities. But here's the thing, when it comes to my kids and whoever they're going to become, whoever they're going to be, I don't care. All I want them to do is to be happy in life and to be themselves throughout the process of life. So whoever you are, whoever you're going to be, it's my job as your father, as your parent, to facilitate those things and put you in a position to succeed at those things. It's not my job to change who you are, Brandon. It's not my job to tell Fred, you're not like that. You don't like that. It's not my job to tell me you don't like something. If you come to me and say, Dad, I like this, or Dad, I am this, now it's my job to sit down with you and understand where you're coming from, who you are, because you're different than me at this point. And now I need to educate myself and get knowledge on it, okay? Educate me. Let's sit down and let's go over these things. Let's talk about this because I don't know. I come from a different school, but this is not the only school in town. So it's my job to understand that as a parent. If you got one way of doing things, that's for you. But your kids need more. You know what I mean? Especially as you keep having kids. My kids range from 19 years old to 2. So I can't parent Kavia the same way I parent Zaire. That was 19 years ago. The world has changed. I've grown, I've changed, and now I have to grow with the world. So when Kav come to me and say, Dad, I'm blah, 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 I didn't want to do this and that, I may not know what it is, but you know what I got? I got Google, I got friends, you know what I'm saying? I got TV show, whatever it is, I got to figure out a way to make sure that my kids is getting what they need from me, and that's it. It's not my job to make them anything. It's my job to build them up and lift them up. We know the whole Lion King, right? When he went out there and lifts him up, that's what I do for my kids. I lift them up and I say, you feel me? That's our job. It's our job to lift our kids up. Not to be like, boy, shut up, you ain't. Girl, shut up, you ain't. That's not our role. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps. Y'all don't know it?
I know all this. I know all the words.
Me too.
You know it?
I know,
Come with
absolutely.
me. Stay with me then.
You don't know all the words.
Talking about the Lion King,
You
though.
don't know like,
The mighty jungle, the lion. Sing with me. Hey, sing with me. You know it. The lion sleeps tonight. Oh, Jesus Christ.
But hey, on that note though, because obviously, you talked about your village, and you mentioned many people in that village. Because you have to live publicly, because you are famous.
Zaire almost beat his ass.
Don't do that.
He backed him down.
Fred, don't do that.
No, he did though.
He said he backed him down.
Stop. Okay. All right. So, Rag, I will ask you this because you are a fan of this particular podcast as
One of the best podcasts out.
it really is. Truly.
Love them brothers, but I gotta get you.
No lie.
But I gotta get you.
But just tell me, am I tripping? Because for one, Channing Crowder. Okay.
For those of y'all who don't know, he's the brother that had the hat turned backwards, light skinned cat with the hat turned backwards. Light bright
with the little braids and stuff. Now, just tell me what you think about that. As far as what I want to show you as what pandering looks like.
Oh no! Now, if in comparison, if we was to compare that pandering to your pandering, your pandering with like 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, like your pandering was like on a 2.
A 2?
Yeah, okay. Like his pandering was like on 13. Yeah. Like he done broke the pandering scale.
It was a lot.
Because if you watch the podcast and you know Channing, and they've talked about that on other podcasts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like now we're not gonna get into the choices that they've made as parents. You know, whether you agree with that or not is totally up to you. You know, you're entitled to your own views and opinions, and I hate that people say that you got to think the exact same way as somebody else. You do your household the way you best see fit, and let me do my household the best way I see fit. But with that being said, like you said, Channing go hard on everybody. He's made comments talking about the way men should act and how men should conduct themselves. And you're not a man.
A real man.
If you don't do certain things like that. And I don't have an issue with it.
Right.
I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Right.
I agree with that wholehearted 100%.
Right.
But popular slang, popular phrase, keep that same energy though.
Yeah. Because he looks up to, if people haven't seen this podcast, Channing Crowder played for the Miami Dolphins the same time where D Wade was in the prime of his career with the Miami Heat.
And I want to say that's where Fred, they kind of all played for Miami at the same time, I think.
Did Fred play for Miami?
Yeah.
He did?
No. Fred is from Miami.
He's from Miami. He played for Jacksonville.
He played for Jacksonville, but he's from Miami.
Yeah.
Channing, B. Marshall, and Ocho all played at Miami at the same time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, given this, like, my thing is, with anything that we try to do, even on this podcast, we don't try to cater to a popular audience or chase after views, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do us. You know what I'm saying? The people that want to tune in, that appreciate our voice, that want to hear what we got to say, they will tune in. And so it's like we try as much as possible to be consistent, to stay consistent on whatever that is, no matter who it is. Like if we don't agree with you, or, you know, I'm going to say it. And so for me, watching this particular podcast, I've always known Channing to always stir the pot. You know what I'm saying?
And he could be trollish at times.
Oh, yeah. Very much so. Him and Ocho.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Ocho's the most trollish.
Yeah, he can definitely troll a lot. So when I saw that, for people that know the podcast, like them, all the 2-3 minutes that D Wade was talking, all they had to comment on that was to sing the Lion King song.
And really, when they did that, that kind of changed the subject.
Yep. It flipped it. It changed the
subject. There was deflection.
Yeah.
Because they really weren't comfortable talking about that because they've had conversations with how they raise their male children differently than they do their female children, how they deal with their sons differently than they do their daughters. And again, don't have no problem with that. But my thing is like, what makes us feel the need to pander to somebody or to a particular audience?
Yeah. Why
do you think that they pandered?
Well, mainly just because of who he is. You know, he's Wade County. I think this is actually filmed, I believe, in Miami at his iAmAthlete facility down there. So they're in Miami. They all are, except Fred, are probably younger than D Wade, I believe. You know, so I think that whole dynamic, plus I don't, you know, I was kind of surprised. I ain't gonna lie.
Now, I want to say they're all about the same age except for Fred. Fred and Ryan Clark are older. Well, Ryan don't be on there all the time, but Fred is older, but I want to say Marsh, Ocho, Channing is a little bit younger than them.
Ocho was older. Ocho was 78. Because I know D Wade was born in 82 with me.
Okay, so yeah, so
I think Crowder is maybe 83-ish.
Right. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Channing is a little bit younger, but B. Marshall and because I want to say they're about the same age.
Yeah.
B. Marshall, because he said he felt like he'd come back. One episode he was talking, he said he like 38 or 39 and he felt like he'd come back.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So and Ocho, I think, is 41.
Yeah, he's older.
He was saying like he said older. He felt like he could come back. So they're older.
Right.
So it's not a big age gap with the exception of Fred Taylor, who I want to say maybe about 45.
That's the reason I would say, because I was kind of shocked. Because honestly, when I saw the headline, because, you know, usually they have a premiere thing up when they're going to premiere the podcast and stuff like that. And I saw the title and I saw D Wade up there and it said the GOAT of parenting. I was like, okay, either Channing is not on this one, or if he is, it's going to be interesting. You know what I'm saying? Because I've heard him, like you said, speak about his views about what he think a real man is and how a man should, right, how man probably should conduct himself and how man should, potentially raise his child. Yeah. And so I was like, and the title said to go to parents, I was like, they're going to talk about it, so when he didn't, I was like,
do you think that society fosters an atmosphere to where we feel like we need to pander?
With certain people, yeah, I do. Like, I believe if this was, name a younger athlete that's in the game now, but don't have as many accolades and as respected as D Wade, I believe Channing would have been Channing. He would have rocked the boat. I'm not saying he would have got on him
like he did with Bubba Wallace.
Or the kicker that he did.
He said they weren't athletes. They weren't real athletes.
Right.
Because you don't do what a linebacker or a running back or wide receiver does. Or like he told Bubba, you driving a car at 180 miles an hour ain't the same as going in there getting hit by somebody that weigh 300 pounds.
Right.
And you doing it repeatedly, in practice. And then you got to go do it in the game. And and he's gone at him. Like, he's gone at Brandon when Brandon was talking about how he could box.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's talking about how Brandon will get laid out.
You'll get laid out.
And he'll go pick him up and win in on Nate Robinson. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Win it like when they had Jake Paul on there.
Yep.
Went in on Jake Paul. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not spared anybody from Cam Newton to Jake Paul to Nate wasn't on there, but he didn't spare Nate.
Yeah.
The kicker, Bubba Wallace.
But you see the difference. Like, Jake Paul, a younger, white, privileged white dude that's a YouTuber that's making millions. You got the athlete that was a kicker. I think he's like 25, 26.
Nah, he ain't even that old.
Okay, he just got out of college.
Yeah, I want to say he about maybe 23.
23 or 24. Mm-hmm. And so he kind of schooled in the game. Bubba Wallace, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was somewhat respectful to Bubba Wallace, but he rocked the boat. He asked a question. He was like, I don't think you're an athlete, bro.
Yeah, so, no. With that, with in terms of being an athlete, he was on them.
Yeah.
Like, he would be roasting golfers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Talking about they ain't athletes and everything. So him in particular, I really, and maybe Ocho declined to be on the episode because he knew he'd been on it, but
possibly.
Yeah, like, your pandering level was nothing to the pandering that just went on.
Yeah, so I wanted to show you what the pandering was, just because I was slick shocked, even within that. And, honestly, even if you continue to talk about or see this podcast, it's a lot of little hidden nuggets, you know what I'm saying, just on the other side that you can kind of take from that, like from what D Wade was talking about, with the parenting thing about, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Kind of alluding to your child. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he truly meant he didn't care, but you know what I'm saying? He basically implied that, it's not his job to train, his child up and how he believed what was the best way to be, to be raised. You know what I mean?
I mean, because essentially he didn't say that, but it came off like, you just do whatever you want.
Right.
It's my job to encourage you.
Right.
And then people say, oh, well, no, it don't go that far. But no, let's just stick with what he said.
Right. It's what out of his mouth.
So if you want to be, because think about it, essentially, that's how racism is.
Yeah.
Because you get little kids together and little kids are just going to play. They're just going to have fun and play with each other. You know what I'm saying? You put EJ and Toby, they're still small enough. You put, EJ, Toby, Aiden, Abby, you put them out there with some other little kids, black, white, brown, tan, red, whatever. They're just going to play.
Yeah.
It's just going to have fun.
Yeah.
But at some point, somebody says, you know what I'm saying, to this child, hey, keep doing that or don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes a kid might be like, oh, I don't like, if I was black and you're white, and I say, I don't like JB no more, and that's the door.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's the way white people are.
Right. Yeah.
And so if that kid wants to be prejudiced or biased, is it okay to encourage that and foster that? Because it's not my job to tell you the way you should be. I should encourage you and hold you up in that.
Right.
So if you want to go start a Ku Klux Klan or you want to start a black Klan or whatever, I should encourage that.
Or I should, as he was saying, I should educate myself.
And hold you up.
Yeah. And educate myself in doing that. And that's, to me, this is what, I don't know if you remember, I remember I wrote a post on Facebook. I was saying how Christianity, the religion, is acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Or in the relationship is more so, you know, frowned upon, or you get canceled, you know, basically for that. You know, just about the love part, I think sometimes we can kind of get the love part and just think that's always a positive. That's always okay. Well, you want to do this? Okay. I won't be loving you if I said no, or if I presented another option to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's the danger part about it. Like, and I've heard some of those guys on that podcast address some of those things. B. Marshall, he's, you know, proclaimed as a believer and you know, the Christian and everything else. And he has voiced how he's raising his sons. I think one of his daughters or sons are playing tennis, I believe. I think he put out in another podcast and stuff like that. So, you know, doing stuff of that nature, man. So what you think about that?
Man, and again, even with that, you know, it's a lot of pandering because people don't want to lose a congregation member or something like that. But to your point, I won't even say the religion is accepted, because again, we talked about this before. That's a misconception. Christianity in and of itself is not a religion. It's a lifestyle.
Right.
What the religion part is, when I say I'm a Baptist, I'm a Methodist, I'm Church of God in Christ, like that's your religion. That is how you choose to express your faith. Christianity is a faith. Initially, it was called the way. Mm-hmm. So the way is the faith, the belief, you know what I'm saying, the relationship. The religion is how I choose to express the way. Mm-hmm. So as long as we expressing the way, your expression may be different from my expression, but we still expressing the way.
The foundation is
right. The foundation is the same.
Yeah.
But people don't have a problem with, like you said, the love. But when you got to actually start doing stuff, mm-hmm. Oh, you mean I can't lie no more? You know, I can't still like, oh, I can't cheat on my taxes no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to mess around on my wife no more. Like, oh, I can't be high all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what people have a problem with.
Yeah. Oh,
I got to forgive this person. I want you to love me and all my flaws, but I can't forgive them. I got a problem with that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then when he say, okay, you know what? If you love me, don't do this. Don't live like that. Don't talk like this. Don't think like that. Oh, well, you know, if you love me, you would just let me do what I do.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, love is, okay, son, my son is a sweets fanatic. You know, I have a lot to do with that, you know, growing up personally, but
yeah, y'all stay with the candy.
Yeah. He knows that.
I be getting the candy. Like, when I see the candy jar, if it's full, like, you know, especially you got some lemon heads in that joint, it's over.
Right. But love is being like, EJ, you did so good at school today. You passed your TCAP test. You did this and that. You ate your dinner. You ate your vegetables. Come on, let's go kick it. Let's go eat some ice cream, get some candy, and let's go kicking it. That's love, because, you know, universal love, because that's what he wants to do. That's loving your son. He's excited for that, right? But love is also like, EJ, like, we've been to the dentist. You know what I'm saying? He's saying you got a cavity or something in your mouth. So we got to lay off the sweets. We got to lay off this for a minute until we get this taken care of. And at the age he is now, he don't understand that. So he goes off and cry, right? You know what I'm saying? So he's feeling bad, but that's still me loving him. You know what I'm saying? But we don't look at those kind of in the same, you know what I'm saying? At least a lot of other people don't look at it as in the same. Like, both of them are in the same lane. It's just, you know what I'm saying, just a different approach. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think people don't, you know, want to put both of those up there. Just like, if you're, well, this is a question out there. Let's say you got a son and you know, he tells you that he wants to be a girl. Like, what would be your reaction? Like, what would you think you do? Because honestly, I mean, that's
I know what I would do.
Okay.
I mean, but like again, just like my parents told me, when it's certain things that you want to do, when you become an adult, when you lived a little bit more life, you got a little bit more experience, you can do those things, and we're gonna love you the same way. We still gonna be your mom and your dad. We're gonna love you the same way. But until you get to that point, this is how we operate. And I will show you and help you operate this way. Right. So you don't have an excuse to say you don't know how to operate this way. Right. Now, personally, like, I never had an identity crisis. Right. But in terms of the way I wanted to stand up late, not eating certain vegetables or whatever, like not going to class, like certain stuff is like, no, this is what you want to do, but this is what you got to do. Mm-hmm. And when you get to the point where you're making a decision for yourself, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But right now, and so in kind, if I had a son, it's my job to show you how to be a man. I can't show you how to be a woman. Right. You stand up to pee. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I can't show you how to be a woman. It's not in me to show you how to be a woman. Right. It's not innate. You know what I'm saying? Like when you walk in that street, people are going to look at you as a man. Yeah. Hate to say it, but I've said it before. Wesley Snipes, white men can't jump. Remember, I quoted the line before. You can stick a cat in the oven. That don't make it a biscuit. A biscuit, yeah. It's still a cat in the oven. Like when you get through, you can't say, "Oh, I put it in the oven. It's a bit." No, it's still a cat in the oven. That's all it is. Yeah. So again, how you think in your mind, I can say we had a problem with Rachel Dolezal saying that she identified as being black. Yeah. We was offended. Mm-hmm. But then if you got a son, because it's like, oh, well, that's my son, so I don't want to, that's my son, so I don't, that's my baby, so if he want to be, no, I'm offended. Right. Yeah. Now, I don't hate you. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that, and again, I share this experience. When I was working at FedEx, I was a ramp agent out there. I had a guy who was he was a transgender before that was popular, before that was in. Mm. And I promise you, if you saw him walking, you would have thought, and the women that worked there was mad because they was like, he got a better walk than me. And we would get new hires in and they'd be like, man, who was that, man? And we'd be like, nah, man, that ain't what you want. You might not want to look at that. And I mean, he come through switching and swinging and everything. Mm-hmm. This dude was 6'3". Oh, Lord. One of his arms was like two of mine put together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Had actually got a college scholarship to play basketball and didn't take it because he knew where he was at and he didn't feel like he would be able to go and be himself. And so he rejected scholarship. Mm. But even then, like I would tell him, you know, you got to do a lift test. We get ready to pick up an engine part on a car and put it on a container to go on the airplane. Mm-hmm. And so the women can't pick it up. So, you know, it's me and he's standing there looking at his nails and I'm like, man, if you don't get your 6'3", 230 pound self over here right now and help me lift this, or else you can hit the clock and go home. That ain't discrimination, but right. I know you can lift this. Right. You're trying to hold yourself accountable to what this 5'5" and 5'7" woman that weighs 170 and 163 pounds respectively, you holding yourself to that standard, and you bigger than every other man over here. Yeah. And again, you biologically are a man. If you hit a female, like, you gonna go to jail because she can't physically do anything with you. Yeah. Be whoever you want to be up here. That's fine. It's not my place to tell you that. Yeah. But I'm going to need you to grab the other end of this engine part so we can put it on this container so it can go on this plane. Yeah. And so, like I said, if I had a son, when you become 18, 21, if that's what you want to do, guess what? I'm still going to love you. Yeah. If you call me, Dad, I'm in the situation, I got you. Right. But I'm not going to show up at your job or at your house and call you out your name and say no, I'm not going to do that. Why? Because Like we was talking about, look, because I love you.
Right.
But now if you say, Dad, how do you feel about this? I'll tell you how I feel.
Right.
And that's my right to feel that way.
Right.
And you don't have a right to tell me not to feel that way. Just like I don't have a right to tell you not to feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you what I expect.
Yeah.
I can tell you how I'm going to teach you. But you can take it however you want to take it.
Right.
And let me ask you something. How many times growing up when your dad told you to do something, did he really care how you felt about it?
None.
But did he ever ask you, so how do you feel about me telling you got to do that? He said what he said, right?
Right.
You had a strong pops, right?
Yeah. But what you just said, that's the vein where people want to go to. Like, they want you to ask, well, how did you feel when I told you no, that you shouldn't have this extra piece of cake? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you felt a certain way. Like, how did you, more so feel? Like, that's the environment and society that we're kind of living in now. Like, to your point, what you were saying, like my pops, like, even when I was living with him for a minute, when I was grown, it didn't matter what was up. If you lived in his house, you was going to get up and go to church on Sunday. You got in 2:00 that morning on Saturday night, but you living under his roof. He was like, he always got me up, and I got pissed off about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it was like, look, if you don't, you can go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? But in this house, we get up, we go to church on Sunday. So if you're not cool with that, you need to find other arrangements. You know what I mean? And so you get that and you respect that, and it's subconsciously training you in your own life when you kind of get older, because you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get, like, for me, in your same situation, if I was in that situation, what would I, do that? Like you said, I don't know how to raise a little boy to be a girl. You know what I'm saying? I got a little girl. So that's, I'm going to do what I do, but, her mom needs to show her the way and how to be feminine and how to do certain things of that nature. Like, I can't do that. But with EJ, Tobias, and Aiden, like, it's my responsibility to show what a dude do. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I just go to the bathroom, they follow me behind. I just whip it out, go pee. You know what I'm saying? This is, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to, I'm just showing you what I do. So I'm assuming you is going to follow suit eventually. You know what I'm saying? And so they do things of that nature. So I can't Google what you going through that you want to identify as a girl. You know what I'm saying? Because just like me and our pops are, pretty similar. We're rooted in something to where we have to, it's going to come out. Like, we got to be true to ourselves. And so, you can't move, quote unquote, with the times. You got to stand for something. Like you said, you fall for anything. Right. You know what I mean? So you can't necessarily be like, well, these times are different, so I need to educate myself on, what's going on and how I need to relate to my kids. You know what I'm saying? To me, when you look at it from that nature, like, then they're the ones in control. You know what I'm saying? Because you have no say so in what you need to get across to them. You know what I mean? So
right. And again, it's like, my thing is, and I understood, because I'm responsible for you.
Right.
I need you to conduct yourself accordingly because I have to answer for you.
Yes, that's a good point. That's another thing.
So I can't let you do what you, and I really don't care how you feel about it.
Right. Because
I am responsible for you.
Yep. You got to make that. You got to answer to him whenever your
silly movie. Have you ever seen that movie? That's My Boy. Adam Sandler, Andy Samberg. Like,
That's My Boy.
Yeah. No. It was a comedy movie. It was actually pretty funny.
Is it Adam Sandler movie?
Yeah. Don't watch it with your children. But
no, I ain't seen that.
The son grew up and got far away from Adam Sandler. Like, this guy who played the son used to play on Saturday Night Live. Mm-hmm. Like, way after Adam Sandler did. But he stopped hanging. Like, he changed his name and everything. And so he's like, why did you move away? You changed your name. Like, that's not your name. He said, look. He said, Dad, he said, I became a diabetic by the time I was 10. He said he used to feed me chocolate cake and lollipops for breakfast. And he was like, that's what you said you wanted. And he said, I was a kid.
Right.
What kid don't want chocolate cake and lollipops for breakfast?
Right.
You were supposed to tell me no. And he's like, I didn't know that. He's like, I was in the deal was he had him when he was like 13 or 14. So he was a kid himself. So he didn't really know anything about raising a child. And so he just was like, I'm gonna give you whatever you want. Like he got him a tattoo on his back. You know, he got him a New Kids on the Block tattoo, and like it was stretched out. Cause, but you know what I'm saying? You gotta check it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But the deal was he was like, you were a bad parent because you just let me do whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's the crazy thing. Like I had friends growing up who parents let them do whatever they wanted to do, and when they came over and we had a bedtime. We had structure. We had to do certain stuff. Like, oh, man, you so lucky. I'm like, man, I get to go over to your house. Like, we can stay up as late as we want. We can play video games all day. We can eat whatever in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
But they hated it, though. And love, and to this day, like, you see when I post pictures of my dad on Facebook, you see how many people comment.
Yeah.
And you know my dad, like, my dad had that structure. He had them rules. Certain stuff you got to do. No, that ain't acceptable.
The OG, yeah.
But people love that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so,
that's
like
crazy,
you said,
man.
it shouldn't be in control.
That's crazy you bring that up because pretty much my dad was the same way. Like anybody, you know, grew up like, you know, respected Pops just because of the authority that he, you know, commanded even coming to a room. You know, hey, how you doing? What's your, you know what I'm saying? You always get somebody that firm handshake, big old hand, just, you know what I mean? So,
voice.
Yeah, so that whole thing, my Pops always told me, you know, I thought obviously it was a cliche growing up. Pops always told me, like, you blessed. You know what I'm saying? You blessed. Like, you know, everybody don't have, you know, what you have. And I'm like, you know, me thinking at the time, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like but then when you live life, you go to school and you see people that don't have a certain structure, don't have a certain mindset, you just like, dang, like, you know, it rang in your ear. And it's like, dang, Pops was on point. You know what I'm saying? Like not even people that have two parents in the household, they may not have that strong one as the father figure. It may be the mom that's the stronger one person, that's running everything and doing all that. And that's a difference in itself and how you kind of perceive things and look at stuff like that. So when you look back on it, it's like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? People respected not only his voice, but just his, you know, authoritative, you know, rules that was in the house. Like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody might be cursing outside on the basketball court. We had a basketball court in our backyard in the old neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? But when they come in the house, hat off. Oh, how you doing, Mr. Brown? How you doing? You okay? Da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? Like, who this nigga? Nigga, you were just, you know, cursing me out here on this, you know, court. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but it instantly switched. You know what I'm saying?
You knew when you walked in what it was.
Right. And so, and that's the, you know, that's the command and respect, you know, we both grew up under, and like pretty much we command that ourselves, just like, you know what I'm saying? In that nature. So,
you know my motto, I don't negotiate with terrorists.
For sure. For what? But yeah, so that was the moral of the story, so to speak, with the pandering, because again, I want to reiterate, great podcast.
Phenomenal podcast.
Great podcast.
Hopefully they'll have us on there one day.
That would be wonderful.
And I hope that they go in just like we gonna go in. Because I'm gonna go in. But you know, but we're not on D Wade's level. So you know what I'm saying? That they gonna do that anyway. Who ain't?
Huh?
Who ain't?
Oh, you're right.
I mean, last time I checked, was you not an executive?
You're right.
Do I not keep it presidential?
That is true. I stand corrected. I mean,
I'm just like, I don't feel like we're beneath anybody.
Right. Well, I'm talking about in their mind.
I don't care what their mind is.
In their mind. So,
but obviously it doesn't matter what's regular or natural. Whatever you think, that's what it is, right?
Right.
So that whatever you think, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So you know what? I think I'm that nigga all the time.
For sure.
In a room full, man, look, in a room full of Denzel, Chris Brown, Green Eyes and Ham, Morris Chestnut, man, who else they like? Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Who else they like? Future. Who else they like?
I can't think of nobody
the
else.
young niggas,
you said
NBA young boy.
You said Michael B.
Pooh
Jordan, right?
Shiesty. Yeah,
Okay.
I said all them young niggas they think fine. Like in a room full of them niggas, I'm that nigga.
That's real.
Brad Pitt.
And my wife can vouch for it just because at times she does think I'm conceited. You know what I'm saying?
You are though. No,
yeah. I'm full of myself, so to speak. But you confident in what God gave you, man. And you just walk in it. You do what you do. And also I want to bring out, I'm not an Alabama fan. This is just an old hat I had.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you
I just want to clear that up. I'm a Gator fan, but I had this hat for my
they SEC too?
Yeah.
Traitor.
For the twins' baby shower. I have twins, Aiden and Abigail. So for the baby shower, we had the whole outfit. We had the hat.
You couldn't get an Atlanta Braves hat?
No, it just this one looked better. You know what I'm saying? This one looked better. So I just got the A.
Couldn't get a Oakland A's
the
hat?
A plus hat. You know what I'm saying? I had the little gray and maroon. She gave me a gray and maroon shirt. That were the colors of the baby shower too. See, so so I just want to clear that up. So
now you pandering again.
I'm a Florida Gator fan. I'm a Cowboy fan. I'm a Memphis Tiger fan. So I don't want anybody watching this like this nigga a Crimson Tide. Like, no, this is Aiden, this is Abigail. These are my baby girl and baby boy twins. So I just wanted to clear that up. So y'all continue with that executive mindset.
And as always, keep it presidential. Bow. Arrivederci.
Salute.